I like how fast he darts away.
Yeah, and I like that his first instinct was to comfort Lois, and then him going, "Wait, hang on a minute,"
Yeah.
and filtering in. That was really nice. This design's so good. I like the little mask and the breather. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, Martha Kent has balls of steel.
Yeah, she really does. Very tough woman. And to be fair, I like that the show she is human. Her instincts will just betray her because she's not trained to do this at all.
Just a misdirection, yeah.
And
yeah, I think this is one of the best moments in the film.
Yeah.
So just full on. Yeah, I got chills from that. That was awesome.
Superman does love his mum.
On an action level and on a character level as well.
A little grim, but a realistic reaction. Oh, here we go. I like that they show he's actually getting super overwhelmed by this, like Superman did. Pretty dumb of Superman to give away the whole problem there.
Yeah, that's kind of smart of him as well, just to retreat.
Yeah. He's like, I'm clearly outmatched here until I figure this one out. That just shows that he's a soldier that knows what he's doing.
I really like the way the sequence is shot. I think the cinematography is at its best here.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I like that we mirror the two aliens as we're going in to stay in the human's perspective. That's nice.
Yeah.
I also then like that we get, a little more focus on Superman's face than everyone else, and that he's just not obscured at all. I love that we're inside the cockpit for this. Just really settles into the perspective of what it was. Oh.
Yeah, it's like you're seeing how he's grown up.
Yeah, I like how they both were there for a moment going, okay.
Yeah, the speech.
Yeah.
Gives an evolutionary advantage.
I also like they kind of show that Superman is combatively a lot weaker.
Yes, I think it helps. I think it helps for a character who's typically just invincible, It's like
he seems vulnerable, and I like.
Yeah, you can almost argue this movie is kind of like anti-social Darwinism, almost.
It really is.
Yeah, cinematography here is really good. Yeah, it's about humanity and free will. It's not about like being the best or about
It's about getting
for
back
stuff.
up.
It's like
choosing to do what you can. That's that's really the spirit of Superman. A god who's to teach us how to live. Part of that is he is the ultimate example of human will.
This action is really strong.
Yeah. And I like how he's just coming out with powers that these guys are like, what? Just to show that they haven't learned it yet. I quite like. So that's how he has to balance himself out.
Yeah, they keep on shooting at Superman. That's not a good idea.
Rough head shot. I like that it's the general that we know, because then we get to see him first.
Yeah.
And boom, Superman saves enough people.
It's almost like a realistic take on what would happen if, like, this kind of alien invasion stuff happened, in terms of the way it's shot, I feel.
Although I think these soldiers, they just kind of came a bit out of nowhere. We didn't really know they were coming, which it makes sense to be there, but it would have been nice to have a line about that.
Yeah, kind of like this moment, like, he just, like, takes out everything that he has,
Yeah, I mean, you just would, I guess. Like, he just isn't giving out, and I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit, like, the only problem I have is that some of the shots do look a bit, like, a bit digital. It's stitched together a little bit, some of them do. I mean, some of the more closer fights. Like that moment,
I think
he's totally willing to just engage a human in an alien in a knife fight,
Yeah, I like that he's just gonna do that. I also like you see the soldiers fighting like Superman, saving people first. That didn't look particularly real. It's interesting that a missile can knock her out.
Yeah, I think she was already dazed, by the thing. Yeah, I like this moment, but I'm not sure if it works like placed with what happened previously, because like he wasn't entirely responsible for like well he was responsible for saving some of these military people, like the Colonel, but not everybody, you know.
No, but I think people will have seen what he's been doing throughout, and they did
Yeah.
have experience with him firsthand.
Yeah. It's almost like he's kind of saying that to his troops and also to him as well. Like yeah.
I like that Martha's going through her like photos and her family home here. I think that's just the first
like
maybe
like God, this stuff isn't destroyed. Like for as slightly overblown as the action is, I think destroying the house in that instance was a good idea.
Yeah, it leads to these very
because it's emphasized in this scene. You know, it's like the house doesn't really matter. What matters is the people and the memories. You know.
Yeah, which is why she brings the photo book, which explains why Superman's so strong as well, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Release the world engine.
And the Kraken. I really like that line.
Yeah, to be fair,
It feels like it was made for memes, though.
I also like that he just says, "Does Kal-El need to be alive?" No, that just sets up his goal immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Like we know it's different now. He's not interested in, so it ups the stakes just nice and quickly. And I like it when he just does it casually like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the reflection they get in the window. Just the VFX department did a great job with that. I wanted to point out what they've done well because I ragged on them a little bit.
Like this cinematography as well. Like the visuals here I think work.
Yeah, just
because it's getting across how scary that would be. You know.
I think this makes more sense actually because they know if they can weaken Kal-El, he's not got a hope.
Yeah.
But when there's powers involved, that he's more likely to be a threat just because he's been doing it so long.
I think this stuff is very well done. It's kind of like people are comparing this to the Avengers because it's like a battle in a city. I think this is more effective because it does really get across how scary that would be. I don't remember anything like that in the Avengers, you know.
No, like the ground level stuff is brilliant. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Batman vs Superman perhaps does it better, but this moment,
like yeah, about the opening.
Yeah, which will believe me, I'll have comments on when we do that. But this is even in this film, it's still really strong, and you just get that sense of scale and fear.
Earth to Krypton. But what happens to us?
Based on these readings, it won't be in us. General Storm,
I didn't like that dialogue. It's like we get it.
Yeah, it was like we got. Also, the military commander's just immediately like, yeah, they'll make a new Krypton. Do you know what Krypton is? Like, he might have mentioned it, maybe, Superman, to be fair, but like,
We have a plan, General.
that's your immediate thought. I like how smart Superman is as well. They don't just make him look like some brutal thug. He's like, no, I got a plan for this, guys. Like, it just makes Superman look even more competent.
You might want to step back a little bit. Maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, I quite like that exchange.
It's just
that felt very Supermanish, didn't it?
Yeah. It's like he's being so nice while at the same time just on the phone. I like that Lois just grinned at that and she was like, yeah, alright.
Yeah.
Like it's like those moments that make me buy this relationship. I love the space shots of Superman. I think they're just so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I just like the idea of humanity just being completely united against this for one bit. I know it's at the moment just the Americans, but
yeah. I mean, on first viewing, I did wonder why he was able to do that so instantly, but I kind of get it. Like, well, he's not instantly used to it, but he is like probably understands what he has to do. He understands how he has to hone it.
Explained it to him anyway, and B, I'd imagine it's more like battle meditation and things like that. Like he's a soldier. I suppose like discipline and skill would be that the whole time.
Yeah. So he could do it if he wanted to.
You haven't given up lecturing me, have you? Even in death.
I like that line.
I'll let you use the codex.
I wonder why Superman didn't try using his heat vision from a distance. Doesn't he know he has it?
Yeah, this is basically Zack Snyder's like disaster movie, essentially. Like as in like him making a disaster movie.
Sure, I would 100% watch a Zack Snyder disaster film after having seen his films. I'd happily watch a full-on one.
Yeah, I like that he runs to the side. He doesn't keep running straight on. He runs to the side. That's very clever.
People can coexist.
And you don't see it much in films.
So we suffered years. Both ghosts on. How'd you see that? Krypton you're clinging onto is gone. Have you managed to quarantine?
Yeah, I like these exchanges between them.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of. I like that silencing me won't change anything. Yeah, he says twice the man you were as well. I like that.
Yeah.
Almost saying like even you at your best can't compare to my son.
I also just say, yeah, it's also really important that he thinks Zod is dead.
Yeah.
You experience his pain.
It's kind of a sadist, isn't he? Yeah, like this. It's a combination of will and determination, combination of Kryptonian stuff and human stuff. It's like he's choosing to do this, and he has the power to do it as well.
It's interesting to destroy one, the whole thing goes down. It's very Phantom Menace falls there. And I love that it just gets all the sun onto him because it's not only does it allow for a beautiful shot, but it just shows Superman's connection to it and how it's
to the Earth, to humanity and stuff. I guess so. I mean, it's the first time that thing has been shown. Superman powers from the sun.
Yeah, and it just gives Superman like the freedom of the day. Like he's kind of he's out in the open of the day. That's what it does for him. And there's Stacks.
This is a big moment. Yeah, do you like that? Because some people didn't like that. Some people thought that like.
I think Superman should have been more concerned about saving like Krypton because I think that's something he does. But I think for this film, it's very, very strong because it gets across the kind of thing that Superman, all in all, is a man. He's one of us that happens to have gifts as opposed to the aliens. At spirit, that's what he is.
Yeah.
That kind of like. I wish there was. I don't know. Like maybe he managed to create Candor or whatever, but. Just because I feel like Superman wouldn't just eliminate all of Krypton immediately, but I think in this situation he doesn't have any other choice, and I think he would kill humans in the end. I like that the Doctor gets to figure out the solution too.
Yeah.
I like that the Colonel's a little bit intimidated at this moment.
Yeah. That head tilt was funny. It's like, oh yeah, now you know.
I love how she's just in enough shots that a human has outfoxed her that she can't work it out. And it also quite helpfully gets rid of all the others as well, which is good, because then it just leaves Superman and Zod, which is kind of the core conflict with the free will determinism argument.
Yeah, like some idiots think that line was stupid, but it's like, yeah, they're alive. No shit, you'd say that if you were saved by that guy.
And
if
I like
you knew
that
guy was
well, because obviously, everyone thought of him as did think of him as an alien up to this point, and then they're not. And to be fair, of course, Lois would react like that. She nearly died, and B, they've kind of been flirting the whole film. Like, I kind of buy that.
Yeah, and also keep in mind, like some people say, like, oh, it's insensitive for them to be like kissing after like a lot of people have died, but it's like that's kind of the ultimate. Like, it's like the whole point is, yeah, people have died, but they're alive. Like
yeah, it's a moment of we don't know if we'll get it again. I like it personally. Yeah. I love this scene as well. I'm just going to be quiet now.
Yeah, I feel bad for him in this moment.
Yeah, you really do get to see the really damaging consequences of like determinist thinking, just in general. Because like, if life randomly loses that purpose, there's nothing. I like that.
Yeah, his acting is really good.
Yeah, I love the way he's shaking.
Yeah. I remember on first viewing being so pissed off at this moment because I was just like, oh my god, not more fighting, But honestly, I think the pacing in this bit is fine. I actually don't feel like it's too much of an overload. I don't know why that is.
No, I mean, I'm not overloaded. I think there was too much action near the start of the film, but I think it balances out.
It is a bit ending fatigue because it is an additional like boss fight, it's an additional like fights. Like we've had the climax and now we're having this bit. There's almost like that was the false climax and this is the true one.
But to be fair, for me, I like this bit because it is just. I mean, it's the art of what this is. I mean, but I kind of like that because the character work sets it up. I think it works. It's how it would go. I like that Zod is this uncontrollable monster at this point. It just creates a really impossible situation.
Yeah.
I still love the Superman suit so much. That was a completely unnecessary explosion. I think the jump would be enough.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Like I do, like I do agree. It is a bit too much. I think the action could have been toned down a little bit.
Although to be fair, the one thing that I love watching Super Tony's fully go at each other is like the sonic booms as they punch each other. Like,
yeah, I
just think it looks amazing.
Yeah,
and I do love that Zod hasn't mastered flight. He just finds a different way up. I love it.
Yeah, the accident. Yeah.
I was bred to be.
I also quite like Zod's rage there. Just like I'm getting beaten up by a farmer.
Yeah.
I must admit, I do prefer Zod in his armor. I don't really like his suit very much.
The CGI here is probably its worst in the film.
Yeah, this
is just because here I think it just looks very obvious.
Yeah. Well, I do love how we're following.
Yeah, no. The camera work is really solid.
Yeah, I just think.
But it also looks a bit too fake. I think in this bit, like particularly this shot. This doesn't look real.
Oh God, yeah, that's. To be fair, this shot is also not great. I quite like that one though. I mean, it didn't look real. I just liked the different perspective, and that was some really nice subtle world building there.
Yeah, like his first instinct isn't even to kill him; it's to choke him.
Yeah, to try and just restrain him.
And I think Zod wants to die now.
Yeah, I think Zod is trying to force his own death here. Well, he's got no purpose left, does he?
And he's realised I probably won't be able to defeat him. Yeah, that's important. Him saying never. I think this is a really good scene. I know. Obviously, like some people tried to like say it was bad just because Superman doesn't typically kill people, but it's like this is a really good scene.
He's not got a hard and fast rule against it in the comics. He will do it.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god, I just killed. Yeah. It's like I just killed I just killed someone. You know, they might not have been a person. They might have been about to kill other people, but
I like that he feels it. I like that we're there with him. He's just.
Yeah. In this moment with Lois as well, it's like I just killed someone. It's like it's okay, you did the right thing. You know, that's kind of what it's non-verbally communicating.
You see the sympathy and the comfort as well, and just the acknowledgement of what an impossible choice it was.
Yeah, I don't know if it was impossible, but I think in the end it probably had to. This is probably the only way that it could end, maybe.
Because it still feels like a choice, even though it really was the only thing he could do.
I mean, this is kind of a comedic scene, but there was some subtlety to it that I noticed, like the fact that he's choosing. Obviously, he's now choosing, but he's also telling them, you know,
yeah.
Nothing, sir. It's kind of hot.
Oh, I don't.
Get in the car, Captain.
That was unnecessary. I wouldn't mind the smile of the confidence, but that was just no.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people forgot this moment. It's like he did want Clark to be a hero, you know.
Yeah.
Witnessing this was like him being aware of that and him kind of knowing that he would one day become a hero. You know?
I did love seeing work, to be fair. I
think this is a really good final flashback.
I think Kevin Costner did great in this.
Yeah. Really good the way they kind of hide, you know. The way they kind of hide it and don't reveal it until the end. I mean, it is a bit like I do agree there could have been an epilogue to maybe show how Metropolis kind of rebuilds, because it looked mostly destroyed, or at least a lot of it looked destroyed. But you know,
I guess we just didn't know how much time had passed.
It's like, all right, okay, it probably rebuilt itself, you know, or at least that part of it rebuilt itself. Yeah. Also, he got a job where he could be close to Lois as well.
Yeah, I like that.
Lois Lane.
Yeah, I actually like that line. Welcome to the planet. I used to not like it, but now I kind of get it.
But
it's like he's choosing, you know, to dedicate himself to humanity. Yeah.
It's the first time he's properly integrated into the world with relationships as well in this. I just like that film. I just like the film.
Yeah, I mean so the stuff that I wanted to say but didn't quite get the chance to. So on the one hand, I do kind of agree with the complaint that the epilogue feels a bit quick, because, you know, it does feel like a bit of a quick ending. And I do feel like maybe they could have shown a bit more of you know, maybe Clark's more of Clark's reaction to having killed Zod, more of, you know, again, Metropolis maybe rebuilding, just in a bit of a montage. some stuff like that would have, like, I think made it work. I totally disagree with the complaint that like Superman was responsible for the destruction. That's total bullshit. Like, based on watching that climax, it's like no. Superman was like he was doing everything that he could do in that moment, you know. And yeah, I was thinking about Batman v Superman, the Bruce Wayne bit when they were showing the climax, which, you know, I'm guessing was probably kind of in mind probably when this was being made. I'm betting he was probably thinking about it to himself, like, what's Bruce Wayne doing, or what's Batman doing during this time, you know?
Yeah, well, I think he'll be thinking not just of Batman, but he'll probably be thinking like, you know, oh, what's yeah, I think he would have thought about, you know, where Batman was, where Wonder Woman was, you know, because I think a lot of this was sketched out, so he was just thinking, okay.
We had, I think BBS was sketched out because, like, LexCorp, you know, the Wayne satellite, you know, it's like he had references
Lex
there.
Responding as well, and where Lex would be, and that kind of thing. Because you know, it's the nice subtle world building hints in there, and in the climax, I just think really do lead well into the next film.
Yeah, and
rushed. I do agree with that. I don't get why Clark wouldn't just, like, you know, have his glasses on anyway.
Oh, okay.
If that's
I don't mind. I think it just helps him blend in a little bit, you know. It's like
no, I would assume he'd just have them on the whole time pretty much once he got off the bike, because that would just make more sense. But
yeah,
you know, I like how it went. I do like Lois Lane's line again. I like the double meaning behind it. Just the
like I know, like, again, on first viewing, I remember a bit kind of groaning, but I'll be honest, I found it to be like, but this time around, I kind of think to myself, like, you can't have a movie with this story without a line like that, you know, without like, you know, just some sort of symbolic line that kind of like closes it. It's like, yeah, he's choosing humanity, he's choosing Earth, you know, and you know, I think like, what else? It's like, the fit. Yeah, I did. I thought the pacing was much better this time around. I wasn't like tired or bored or anything. You know, there was like it didn't like I wasn't like too bored during the climax or anything. And
no, I was engaged. To be fair,
yeah,
I think it does. I think it does have problems. I do think, you know, Superman's a bit passive in the film, and that does hurt it.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, like, despite that passiveness.
Huh?
I do kind of agree that there aren't that many moments where he can like act fully on his own, where he can, like, you know, be more of an engaging main character. But I do feel like in this film, it is kind of about him not being passive in a sense. Again, given the themes,
it's about him overcoming his passiveness, and I get that, but a lot of it is just reaction rather than action.
I understand that. I do agree. I do agree, and I think but I think the film is kind of about, in some respects, it's kind of, it's trying to also tell the human story of, like, you know, sometimes you're put in these situations. Sometimes, like, you're put in a situation that kind of that you can't get out of.
Yeah.
And that's, I feel like that's kind of what most of this film is. It's like you're in a situation that you can't get out of, and you have a choice to either do one thing or the other thing. And constantly, he's always trying to do the right thing. You know, like constantly. Well, every character I feel was trying to do the right thing in the moment.
This is more. It's more of an argument about, like, earlier in the film than later. Later it makes sense, but earlier in the film, he's kind of just reacting.
Yeah, I agree. No, he is kind of just being led on this, like, path. I mean, he wants to find out stuff about himself, but still, you know, it's like, yeah, I agree. And it's more, yeah. Overall, I mean, it's not like, yeah. Well, let me just think if there's anything else that I want to say. I do feel like with like a stronger resolution, maybe I think if this film had like 10 more minutes added to it, just to add some of these things that I'm thinking would have improved it, I feel it would have been better. But I have to say, it was actually okay. Like, I actually,
to be fair, I quite liked the epilogue. I know it was quick, and it was.
No, I'm talking about the entire film now.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I'm talking about the entire movie. The entire movie, honestly, it's like, I think it's basically as good as Aquaman, essentially.
Oh, I think it's better than Aquaman is. personally.
Yeah, I thought Aquaman was a bit better than this film, but they're kind of in this. I feel like they're in the same league, and that some of them have. I think some of them have the same like strengths and that they kind of have the same strengths and weaknesses, or some different strengths and some different weaknesses. You know, I feel like but in terms of just overall quality, I think I'd put them kind of on par with each other.
I've got to disagree with you there. I would put Man of Steel above, as much as Aquaman's more fun, but for me, it has a lot more logic problems than this film does. Like,
okay, all right.
when you watch Man of Steel is a logical film that worked, and it's a similar character thing. But Superman here, you get a much bigger connection with him as a person, and his relationship with like his mother and Lois. It feels a lot more real.
Yeah, I can see that.
And for me, I think that actually really helps it, because it's it's not trying to say that this is real life, but it is, again, it does do what it sets out to do. It brings Superman into somewhat our world, and it's not overly grim, it's not overly depressing, and it pushes Superman as a character a lot harder, and you see him develop. And it's got, I think it's got. I like seeing a positive character arc. I'm going to be honest. Like, I mean, I love a negative arc too, like a negative arc too. But I think the problem with Aquaman is they focus too much on trying to make it as fun as possible. There's a couple of things that just for me just didn't make sense in it.
Okay, all right, okay, that's fine. Yeah. All right, yeah.
This had a lot of strong emotional core, this film, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
The biggest issues with it are there's some screwy CGI in there. I think at times Superman feels a bit bland. Like, there's enough in there that he's not bland throughout, but there are points where he doesn't quite feel as easy to connect with, and some of the characters can be a bit passive, but at the same time, I feel myself very, very engaged with this film, and I didn't get bored at all watching it.
Yeah, no. I mean, well, I think the first half is a bit stronger than the second half. Like
I do agree with that. I think as much as I have criticised Superman for being a bit passive at the start, there are a couple of great active choices, and watching him discover himself is really quite brilliant. And I think why the second half doesn't work quite as well is because there's not enough of a connection between Zod and Superman, because they made it again more of a Superman versus the Kryptonians rather than Superman versus like Zod, in terms of like the protagonist antagonist. And they did things set up that it might be Zod, but I think we needed to understand Zod just a bit better from the start, so that when we got Superman and Zod going at each other properly, with another, I think an extra scene between them would have done it. Like, maybe 1-2 extra scenes between them would have done it. But when they get at each other properly, it feels, even more personal, and it feels. I think it needs to have more of an element of tragedy, and to make the choice seem harder, because I mean, Superman's really faced nothing but abuse from Zod and that lot. So it makes sense that he would be against them. But, which I like, which is why I like Krypton felt like a hard choice, but I feel like it could have been even more devastating for Superman if he'd had a chance to connect a little bit. Well,
he did get in touch with his own heritage, but ultimately the film was kind of saying that, like, you kind of, although it's important to, although it's important to get in touch with it, you have to at some point you have to leave it behind and just stay in your own, you have to find a new home sometimes, or you have to, because Superman, because Krypton was not his home. Krypton wasn't where he lived. It's like he grew up on Earth. He is a human, and he's both, but he's kind of, Earth is his home, so he was choosing his home.
Yeah, and I do like that. I like that he was choosing his home, and I just think there could have been, a little bit more weight to it, because Krypton never felt like a real option, and I feel like it perhaps should have done.
Yeah, I mean that would have been interesting, but
be actually tempted.
Yeah, I can see that. That being said, again, I kind of get it's more. I don't know. I think I see it as Yeah, in this film, I kind of see it more like that was just never an option for him. You know, that was never like he never actually like wanted Krypton to be brought back. He wanted to cut that off. He wanted to. It's like, but although at the same time, because they were kind of having that be going on at the same time, like right after he rediscovers it. So it's almost like he had to rediscover this part of himself and then cut it off fully. So I feel like in that sense, it's more of a tragedy. You know, it's more of a tragic situation.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it is. That's kind of what it was. What I felt like it was trying to go for, and I wish it had just pushed it a little further. Then I would have thought, brilliant. This is, that was a choice. It felt impactful, and it worked. And for me, it was impactful, but not enough. I think one of the biggest weaknesses of the film, it tries to give a split heritage and kind of like the idea that it's a conflict, but doesn't do enough to really earn it fully. I think if it just play with it a bit more, like the emotional core would have really worked. It would have really been like, boom, you are determined by your choices, not your history and your genetics. Like, because that's the message of the film. You're determined by your free will, by your choices, and by what happens. The world is not deterministic. You choose your own path.
And also I think it's that like how hard that can be as well.
Yeah,
like, which is why they do the Jonathan Kent stuff, which is why they do the killing of the sword at the end. It's kind of pointing out that like what might be the right choice is not necessarily like
the easy
morally the best thing to do, you know.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But it's like sometimes it's like you have to do it. It's almost like kind of a hard truth, you know. It's like sometimes you have to do
sometimes moral choices are ugly and not particularly moral in the first place.
Yeah.
And I like that it acknowledges that, and I like the impact that had on Superman.
Yeah. Overall, I mean, upon a second viewing, I haven't had this like big moment of reevaluation, but I do feel I do feel, I mean, it was kind of misjudged upon release. I do feel like it's better than a lot of people did give it credit for at the time. At the same time, I don't think it's like an underrated like masterpiece or anything.
I would say it's a good, solid film. It's enjoyable.
And it's not like the worst like kind of building block for a cinematic universe or anything. I think that like
quite. I would say this probably is the best universe setup of any DC film.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Because like, well, I mean, because Batman Begins, it's like, you know, based on the world, it's like you can't imagine other superheroes. But in this one, it's like, okay, you probably could. You know, it's like, all right, now he's choosing Earth. Now we can go and see what's on Earth and the stuff later on. I mean, it was interesting. Yeah.
I like that it uses. They make a big deal of using real world locations in this film, to give it more weight. And I think, sure, that is cool. That does work, but it's a bit like, sure, but if you crash a building with people in it, you could probably do it. But I think, like, one thing in the world building that was really nice, that as you was destroying certain things, like, you saw the LexCorp logo, you saw the Wayne Industries logo, and it was subtle, but it was there. Like, it's not like it was hiding. It was obvious, but not in your face. And it just made you go, it's cool. So Batman exists. Oh, so Lex exists, and you can kind of get an idea of where it might be going. And on reflection, I like that it just had those little connections, because it just felt completely natural to me.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I don't know. Again, I think I think that it would have been I think if it just like maybe had a bit of a longer cut, then I think it could have been the great film that it is trying to be. But like, honestly, upon reflection, I do. Yeah, I think I like it. Yeah, I like it. I've come around to liking it, even though I can see some flaws. Even though it's not like, I still don't think it's the best film in the series. I think other ones did stuff better than this one.
Yeah,
I think I can. I respect it now. I feel,
Yeah, I mean, I really respect that still. I think the best DC film that they have released, it's a toss up for me between a couple. But I think if I had to really judge it, I think Wonder Woman is probably the best one they've done.
Yeah, and Shazam. I think those are the best.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not counting the Dark Knight trilogy here, because it's obviously the best film DC's ever done is one of those.
Yeah,
I mean,
and well, I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, because and weirdly enough, I do feel like even those like three of the good entries do kind of owe themselves to this film a bit.
Yeah,
like,
I think it sets up the blueprint and the kind of the way that the thematic works and all of that. And I really like it. And I think, to be fair, I think the best parts of the films that maybe didn't work for everyone, you could kind of see their beginnings in this film.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I think that sums up our thoughts quite nicely. And I'm quite excited to go back at the Ultimate Cut of Batman vs Superman, which is better cut for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you for watching, everybody. Yeah, we will be back at some point with BVS. Yeah. Cool.